What's up, guys? I've got three key elements tonight holding you back from achieving your biggest goals. And I know you're tuning in and you're going, wait a minute, is this another one of those things they're gonna talk about the same stuff that I've heard over and over and over again? Some of it might be, but you've got to ask yourself if you keep hearing the same things, why aren't you changing to be able to achieve it if people keep saying the same things are holding you back? I'm going to give you a little bit different approach to some of these ideas tonight, though, and hopefully, this is that time where it clicks for you and you get to move forward. Now, as I go into these, I want you to think about this because I'm going to talk about this from a fitness aspect. I'm going to talk about this from a financial aspect because I had two conversations with different individuals that both led to the same things, but one was asking me about how do I achieve this in my diet? The other one was about how do I change my finances? And what are the two biggest things that everybody always wants to do every single year, right? How do we start off the new year? I want to lose more weight or I want to gain more muscle. I want to spend less or I want to make more money and I want to be able to have more vacations, right? I want more free time. I want more freedom. How often do we talk about that? All the time. Now, these three things that I'm going to bring up to you, because what is the biggest challenges? What is it that stops people from actually achieving their fitness goals? What stops them from being able to either be the weight they want to be, the size they want to be, they want to look a certain way, they want to have a certain amount of muscle or be a certain leanness. And then on the other side, with the financial world or even the business world, they want to grow their business to the point where they don't have to be there all the time, right? They want to have enough money in the bank so they don't have to worry about paying bills. They don't want to worry about if things pop up. We talked about the difference between the EF account and the OF account. If you don't know, feel free to go back and check out that video. Now, the first thing, and it doesn't matter which one you're focused on, because believe me, I've had these troubles, and that's why I'm bringing these to you. The first thing that I hear about this all the time is the lack of focus. How many of you have heard that you need 7 streams of income to be able to become rich? False. How many of you have heard, got something in my eye. How many of you have heard that you should go do the ketogenic diet? How about the carnivore diet? How about back in the day, the Atkins diet? How about there's like 752 different diets that I keep hearing about, and every one of them is the key one that's going to get you to where you want to be as far as your health and as far as your weight. But if you keep bouncing from diet to diet to diet or from workout to workout to workout, and believe me, when I was younger, the only thing that kept me grounded when it came to working out was sports. But if it wasn't for that, I was trying everything, the stability balls and the med balls and the bands and dumbbells versus kettlebells versus barbells, you name it. I tried every single workout, partially because I was a trainer and I wanted to know how they all worked. But when it came to the performance, at least I did focus on that one aspect. Potentially why I was able to jump as high as I was and other things of that nature. But if you're trying to figure out how to get down to a certain weight, if you're trying to figure out how to, and so it's not just get down to the weight, it's get down to the weight and stay there, right? Because how many people yo-yo? How many people start to build up an emergency fund or potentially even build towards that OF fund, that opportunity fund, but instead on the way, they go back again. Why? Because they lose sight of the actual game. They lose sight of what they're trying to accomplish. So their focus wavers way too often. When you're locked in, and you think about it from a Kobe Bryant standpoint, the Mamba, when he turned on the Mamba, he was focused on one thing. He did learn as he got later into his career, he had to put time into family, he had to focus on that. But when he was on the court, when he was practicing, when he was playing in a game, it was Mamba mentality. It was a sole focus. Too many of you, and I've been there. At one point when Mandy and I first got together, we had like 17 different things going on, but we weren't coming close to making the amount of money we wanted to make. Why? Because we were too distracted. We did not have a Mississippi River that we were building. We were everywhere and anywhere to try and make a buck. And that was coming from a scarcity mindset from childhood. So that could be part of your money blueprint that has you running in all these things. Now, if you tell me and you message down below, you can, and you say, Stacks, I got 7 different businesses right now. If none of them make 6 figures, you don't have 7 different businesses. You have 7 things that are distracting you. You have to build one to make today even more than $100,000 to allow you to get to where you want to go. Word number 2 is patience. But I'm going to take it a step further because majority of people today, we have IG syndrome, instant gratification. We want everything right now, so we have no patience. You want to have aggressive patience if you want to be wealthy. You want to be aggressively patient if you want to have a big business. What does that mean? You don't do things slowly. You are decisive. You make decisions quickly, but you move understanding that not everything you want to accomplish is going to get done today when it comes to a bigger business idea. If you want to go to the gym, yes, do it today. But if you're Amazon and you're trying to build a new app, which if you learn the story of Amazon, not everything happened overnight. It took them years to release the Kindle. Why? Because they kept perfecting and perfecting and perfecting it. But it took them years to get it done, even though they were constantly working on it and constantly making it better. So there's things that are going to take a minute. And you have to understand there's going to be hills, there's going to be valleys, there's going to be challenges in your fitness journey. Heck, right now you guys can't see it because I'm standing in one spot. My back is locked up. So as far as my fitness journey, I had to choose today what I was going to do for a battle, as far as how I was going to work out or what I was going to do from a standpoint of I just have trouble moving today. But on the flip side, I wasn't going to allow that to hold me back from achieving my fitness goals, how I want to look and how I want to be able to get around. So I did my mobility work. I did my PT work. So I'm still being aggressive from the standpoint of I'm saying, okay, I'm going to do something. I'm not going to go off my diet. I'm not going to let it get me depressed. I'm not going to let it lose my focus, going back to the first word. But I'm being patient from a standpoint of, okay, my body's not like it was when I was a kid. If I do something to aggravate my hip or my back or my knee, it doesn't take 5 minutes to get over it anymore. So I have to be patient at the same time. So if you get into business, and especially if you're into a business with your spouse, and things don't go how you want them to in the first week, the first month, the first 3 months, you have to ask yourself, are you doing the activities to get to the results you want to get? But are you understanding that big results take time? And even if you get lucky up front, and people do it often, they'll get into something and they'll have because they're talented, they'll have a quick hit, and then it doesn't keep happening because they didn't understand that they had to go out and build those skill sets. They had to go build a pipeline. They had to continue to grow to have that happen consistently. And many people don't have that aggressive patience where they're willing to keep grinding when it doesn't happen right away, understanding that down the road, it's going to compound into a bigger result for them. So 1 was focus, 2 was aggressive patience. Number 3, which this actually goes with what I was just saying, is perseverance or grit. You can use either one of the words. There's a great book called Grit, but that's something that I've seen since I was a kid. You can get so much done if you have grit or perseverance. And so many people do not have that these days. I'm going to be really direct with everybody and probably get a whole bunch of negative comments on this because the majority of people are soft. They have no willingness to go through pushback. They have no willingness to take that shot. Mike Tyson always said everybody's got a plan until they get punched in the face, and he was 100% correct. If you lay out a plan and you're going to lose weight, and then it's 3 days in and it's your best friend's girlfriend's birthday, and you go and there's a giant cake and they give you hell for not drinking and not having cake, are you going to throw your plans out the window because that happened? Unfortunately, most people will. They can't take that peer pressure. But if you want peer pressure, come around me and I'm going to peer pressure you to go read more books. I'm going to peer pressure you to get to your business earlier. I'm going to peer pressure you to stay at your office later, because that's what's going to get you to the goals you actually have if you're serious about your making more money, building a business, or losing weight. You can't worry about the things that are distracting you. You have to stay focused on your focus. Yes, there's family time. Yes, there's time for friends. Yes, you've got to, relax. But unfortunately, so many people are spending way more time relaxing. They're spending way more time doing things that are mindless than they are doing things to get them to where their goals are. Let me ask you, as far as focus, if your goal is to make more money, what financial books have you read recently? Oh, but I watched YouTube. I mean, some of the stuff on YouTube is great. Some of the stuff on YouTube is crap. You've got to understand who you're listening to. But as far as actual books, why not? Why don't you turn your car into a university by having audiobooks on? That shows me how focused you are. If it's fitness, who are you learning from? Did you hire a coach? Do you have somebody that's helping you? Are you listening to fitness books? There's some great fitness books too. As far as the patience, did you give yourself a timeline that's, and again, I don't like this word, but as realistic from a standpoint of I'm not losing 30 pounds in a day, but depending on my weight, I could lose 30 pounds in 3, maybe 4 months. So what is your timeline? Did you set yourself a timeline? But first and foremost, you got to get that focus lined up. So many people are scatterbrained. So many people are telling me one week they're in solar, the next week they want to go into real estate, the next week they're doing drop shipping, the next week they're going to become an AI expert, and they're all over the place. Get that focus down. Build one thing that first makes you six figures, then makes you multiple six figures, then possibly look at branching out from there. And usually try and keep it in a vertical. We'll do another video on that. Patience, you got to be aggressively patient. You got to go after it. You got to work for it every day, but you got to understand that big results are not going to come overnight. And then perseverance, grit, you've got to push through when things are happening to allow yourself to get to that end goal. Otherwise, you're going to keep starting back over at zero. If I start climbing the mountain and something happens, if I allow that to stop me, I'm going to go back to zero. I've got to go through, I got to push through whatever happened and understand that every time I go up, I might fall down a little bit, but I don't have to start over. I got to be willing to climb from there again, and then I'm going to start over again. Look at the stock market. The stock market seems to always end up going up, but you have a lot of dips along the way. It's the exact same idea. Focus, patience, perseverance. I would love to hear what you're focused on. I would love to hear what you're willing to be patient about right now as far as a goal, and I'd love to hear what you're doing to persevere through things that are pushing back on you, especially in this big year of 2025. I hope everybody gets some value out of this. Please, if you're on YouTube, give me a like and a subscribe. Maybe share this with a friend. Facebook, share this on your story for me so more people can see it. And everybody have a blessed Monday.